A lot of times we go to garden centers and nurseries, we see a lot of plants, we get attracted towards them, we want to buy them, but sometimes we don't buy thinking that if I buy and keep it in my house, it might die because I'm not sure what to do with that plant. Let us today understand that whenever we buy a plant, what do we need to do after we bring that plant to our home, to our family. Let's get started. Also, if you have watched my videos on propagating pothos in water, so I had promised that I will show when the roots start coming up. So this was one of the cutting, and as you can see, the roots have started coming up. Now this root is growing, and as you can see, there is a new growth as well. Now I will just wait for this root to be a little longer. Let's say it's still here, and when it goes till here, that's it, and I will just plant this cutting in the soil. So this is what I just wanted to update. I always prefer buying plants on weekend or towards Friday if I know that the next 2 days is an off for me. The reason is, first of all, when I go to the nursery, I might buy a plant which I know that okay, I want to buy this plant because I've been looking for it for a long time. The second case is you just see a plant, you just get attracted towards that plant, but you are not sure that how do you need to deal with that plant. What I normally do after buying plants is I just bring them home, keep them in a safe place in shade, obviously not in sun, for few hours, let's say 5-6 hours, let them settle, and then I will definitely repot it. Now I know that a lot of people believe that we should repot after a week or few days, but I never do that, and guess what, the success rate has been a great number, and I would recommend you to repot the plant on same day. Whenever you repot your plant, it should either be done early in the morning or in the evening when the sun is down. Please do not repot your plants bringing them from nurseries when it's very hot or when the sun is very hot. That's not a good idea. The most important thing that you need to decide after buying a plant is where will you keep that plant. So there are two cases in this. Either you know that okay, this is the place you want to keep some plant, and then you go to nursery and buy a plant accordingly, or after you bring that plant, you need to make sure that you exactly are aware of that whether this plant needs sun or it needs shade or it needs partial sun, and depending on its requirements you keep the plant. So what I did was I just went to the garden center today and I bought these two plants. I bought a couple of more, but these two were the last plants that I bought, and I thought of shooting it because I wanted to use it, and I also need a good pot which I can use for these plants. So this is a pot that I have, and I have to make sure that there is a hole in it, as I said. And the next thing I have to understand is whenever I repot this plant, you will see that most of the plants that you buy from the garden centers, they are only planted in coco peat. Now coco peat is enough to keep it alive because it will give that moisture for few days, but it is not enough because it does not have nutrients, so it is not enough for the plant to grow. So what we have to do is we have to make a very good soil. The soil, you can just use your normal potting mix, which is very loose and porous, and then you can add things like cow manure, your organic compost, and make a very good mixture. You can also add some stones if you want. This will just make some space for air in the soil. The roots will enjoy because they will get that air, and the soil has to be very loose and porous. And whenever you just take this soil in your hand and you just try to press it, that clay should not form, that ball of clay should not form. It should just be a very loose and porous soil. Now why we need a loose and porous soil? Because the roots of the plant should easily penetrate inside the soil, and they should easily be able to move, breathe. That's how the plant is healthy. So after having a good soil, we have to just plant our plant in the pot, give it a good soil, and then we also have to make sure that the pot has correct level of soil. Sometimes what we do is we put so much of soil till the brim that whenever we just put a little bit of water, the water just comes out of this pot, which is wrong. We have to give it a little, I would say 1.5 inch of gap, so that when you water your plant, the plant is getting good amount of water. There is some water that is going inside actually. Also, whenever you shift your the plant, you have to make sure that you do not shift your plant from a very small pot to immediately very large pot. I mean, 1-2 size bigger pot is okay, but definitely not a very huge pot, because the roots, they will face a lot of difficulty in settling down in that new place because it's extremely huge. So a little bit bigger pot is fine. Now after your pot is ready, the plant is planted, the next thing is you have to keep your plant at the correct place. Now if you have a look at the Swiss cheese plant, I have I'm just hanging it over here. Now this place doesn't receive direct sun, but this is outside my house where there is a lot of bright light, but definitely no direct sunlight. So I know that Swiss cheese plant doesn't need direct sunlight, bright light is enough, and definitely I will keep it in the perfect location. I will clean the plant, I will water it, so that the plant looks good, the plant feels fresh, and this is definitely going to help my plant to grow a lot. Also, if it is very cold at your place, or if it is very hot, or if you live in a place where what happens is daytime it's extremely hot and then night it just gets extremely cold. So what we are trying to discuss is there is a huge variation in temperature at your place. Then what you need to do is, whenever you have your pot ready, you can just do a little bit of mulching. Just use your dry pieces of wood or straw. Make a layer of mulch on the soil, because when there is a lot of temperature variation, the roots, they struggle a lot, because they are getting that hot temperature and then cold temperature. This mulching will just keep it moist, it will keep it warm, it will give that perfect temperature that it requires to grow. Also, what happens is, whenever we give water to our plants, we have to make sure that the water, definitely we all know we will never give hot water to our plant, but the water should also not be very cold. Now in Australia, what I have seen is the normal water also that comes out from the tap, that is extremely cold. Now this cold water will give a shock to your plant, will give a shock to the roots of the plant, because that cold water is not good for, it's like you are sleeping and somebody just comes and throws that cold water on you. How would you feel? The same these plants feel. You have to make sure that the plants, they get lukewarm water, so that they enjoy that water, and we are not just giving them water for the sake of giving water. Also, after bringing any plant at home, if you feel that there is any dead leaf or any dead stem, immediately prune it and cut it off, so that the start for the plant at your place is that fresh start with no infested or no dead part in the plant. So in a nutshell, what we have to take care is the pot size has to be good, the soil has to be good, loose, porous with a lot of nutrients. You can add compost for fertilizer, the water has to be lukewarm, and a perfect location where this plant will enjoy its life. So if we keep all this in track, the plant will grow and your plants won't die. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and do get a lot of plants from garden center. Start from easy plants that you feel that you can take care of, and then eventually you can just increase the level. And one fine day you can also get caletheas. You might start from succulents and then you can get caletheas. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and do post your comments if you feel that there is anything that you want to know more about. And if you're new to this channel, you can always subscribe so that you can stay connected with M&MM plant family and you can be part of this family. With that, I'll take your leave and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.